Hey guys, so here's Doc talking about The Last Boy, issue 2 by Dan Panosian, Alessio Avallone, and Valentina Pinto. I did a whole video talking about my thoughts on this book, and then I looked at it and it was upside down. So we're going to do this the correct way and do it right side up this time. But I had another thought that I didn't talk about in the original video, so I guess it worked out all right. I've talked about A Badazad before by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Ploog. It was originally started out as a comic series, a floppy, from CrossGen before CrossGen's comic section folded. So now they decided to do books, like actual books of those series. And they got through 3 of them. And the 4th one, I looked on Instagram where I had messaged or tagged JM the other day, and he said the 4th book was finished, but the rights are just so tied up in Disney that there's no way to get them loose. So the 4th book, 5th book, 7th book, 6th book, and 7th book will never be seen, apparently. So anyway, I said that to say that this is a story of Peter Pan. And the story of Peter Pan in and of itself is kind of like the Wizard of Oz, or what A Badazad was trying to be. It was a story of another time. And that's kind of the anachronism for the entire story, of what it hangs on, is that Peter is the last boy. Everybody else has grown up. They're either old men or old women. They have their own lives. Wendy Darling is about to get married, but she is trying to complete a book before she gets married. She wants to have a life of her own. She doesn't want to be known as the wife of so-and-so, which is how society could be, not always, but it could be during that time. So she wants to build her own legacy. She doesn't want to have to fall back on, my husband was the count of so-and-so, or, something along those lines. So that's what I really enjoy about this book, is it has a deliberately slower pace, I think, and it also has a more grounded, character-driven storytelling. So a lot of people lose that. They can't tell a story about characters, but instead all they can do is tell a story about the story that they're trying to tell, if that makes sense. There's no deep characterization. Each character is a cookie cutter of the others that are involved. But here we have the Phantom King, who is at the bottom of the cover, and we have Peter, who's at the top of the cover. And the Phantom King embodies more than just darkness and death. He embodies the loss of innocence. He embodies the growing up that Peter is going to have to face. At the end of the book, he's fighting the Phantom King, and he gets stabbed. Actually, he gets slashed across the chest is more appropriate. And he realizes he's bleeding. If you go back and really think about the story of Peter Pan, did anybody really ever die? No. If you go back and watch the animated movie, if you go back and read the storyline itself, nobody ever really died. It was kind of like G.I. Joe in that sense, where you see people get shot at, but you never see people get shot. You never see anybody die a gory death. Instead, it's just alluded to that, Cobra has less men when they end at that episode than they did at the beginning. Or that Cobra Commander jumped out of a ship, but did he really die? Here, you're starting to realize that the story that Dan Panosian, Alessio Avallone, and Valentina Pinto are telling is a story that's going to have consequences. So I really enjoyed this book. Did you guys pick it up this week? Have you been reading this? It is a Boom title, and so this is part of Boom Studios' 20th anniversary of the company. I can't wait to read issue 3, which comes out next month, to see exactly what goes on with this Phantom King. But like I said, it's a story about Peter Pan growing up and learning that there are consequences in the world of adulthood that you couldn't even fathom as a child or as a boy. So is this going to irreparably destroy who Peter Pan is as a character, or is it going to take it and add a different level to something that we think we already know? I bet it's going to be like the second one and be like an onion, where it just adds a couple of layers to something that we thought we intimately knew, but come to find out that we don't actually know it all. Thanks for joining me, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Got a couple of people that I need some thoughts and some prayers for, if you guys don't mind. I'd rather not share the details. But if you could pray for two dear friends of mine who are going through physical struggles right now, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for your time again, guys, and you all have a great afternoon.